Have you ever found yourself lying in bed, a profound weariness settling into your bones, your eyes heavy with the promise of sleep, only to be jolted awake by that familiar, unwelcome urge? For countless older adults, this nightly battle with the bladder isn't just an occasional inconvenience. It's a chronic disruption, a thief of rest that can transform the sanctuary of nighttime into a frustrating cycle of waking and walking. It's a silent saboteur that chips away at energy, dulls the sharpness of mind, and casts a shadow over the golden years. But what if the path to quieter nights and more restorative sleep wasn't solely paved with prescriptions or complex medical interventions? What if part of the solution was already sitting in your kitchen, unassuming and patiently waiting in your vegetable crisper? The truth is, while various medical conditions and medications undoubtedly play a significant role in nighttime urination, or nocturia as it's medically known, the foods we consume, particularly the vegetables we choose, can exert a surprisingly potent influence on our bladder's behavior after dark. Some vegetables, unbeknownst to many, can subtly irritate the bladder lining, disrupt the body's delicate fluid balance, or even contribute to underlying inflammation within the urinary tract. Conversely, a select group of others possesses remarkable properties that can soothe irritation, support healthy kidney function, gently encourage balanced hydration, and even in retraining an overactive bladder to remain calm and composed throughout the night. This isn't about miracle cures, but about understanding the quiet power of nature and harnessing it to support your body's innate wisdom. In this comprehensive exploration, we will delve into 5 specific vegetables that have shown promise in helping to reduce the frequency of nighttime urination, especially for individuals navigating their 60s, 70s, and beyond. These aren't exotic, difficult-to-source superfoods, but rather familiar, everyday staples. When incorporated thoughtfully and consistently into your diet, particularly with an awareness of when they are consumed, these vegetables can make a tangible difference to the quality of your sleep and, consequently, your waking life. Each one offers a unique array of benefits, from calming bladder inflammation and supporting crucial kidney functions to promoting optimal fluid balance. As we unpack the science and stories behind each, you'll gain a deeper appreciation for how these humble dietary heroes can work synergistically to help you achieve deeper, more prolonged periods of sleep, allowing you to wake up feeling genuinely refreshed and revitalized, perhaps more so than you have in years. If you're ready to explore these natural avenues to better sleep and bladder health, stay with us. The journey to more peaceful nights might just begin with your next grocery list. And as we embark on this journey, we'd love for this to be an interactive experience. If the prospect of finding natural ways to improve sleep quality resonates with you, share a ready to learn in the comments below. Your engagement fuels our passion to deliver valuable insights. Understanding the nightly nuisance. Why does frequent urination affect older adults? Before we uncover the vegetable champions, it's crucial to understand why nighttime urination becomes a more prevalent concern as we age. It's rarely due to a single cause. Rather, it's often a confluence of physiological changes and lifestyle factors. As the years pass, our bodies naturally undergo transformations. For instance, the bladder, a remarkable organ capable of impressive elasticity in youth, may gradually lose some of its capacity to hold urine. Its muscular walls might not stretch as effectively, meaning it signals full with a smaller volume of fluid. Simultaneously, hormonal shifts can play a part. The production of antidiuretic hormone, ADH, which signals the kidneys to produce less urine during sleep, can decrease with age. This reduction means the kidneys may continue to produce urine at a more active rate throughout the night, leading to more frequent awakenings. Furthermore, for some, the pelvic floor muscles, which provide essential support to the bladder and urethra, can weaken over time due to various factors, including deconditioning, or, for women, the after effects of childbirth. This weakening can make it harder to fully empty the bladder or to control urges effectively. Beyond these natural aging processes, certain medical conditions more common in later life can contribute significantly. In men, an enlarged prostate, known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, can obstruct urine flow and lead to incomplete bladder emptying, resulting in more frequent trips to the bathroom day and night. For both men and women, conditions like diabetes, if not well managed, can increase urine production. Heart conditions might lead to fluid retention during the day, which is then released and processed by the kidneys when lying down at night. Even some medications, particularly diuretics prescribed for blood pressure or heart issues, are designed to increase urine output and, if timed suboptimally, can exacerbate nighttime awakenings. It's a complex picture, isn't it? And often, individuals feel resigned, believing it's an unchangeable consequence of aging. However, while these factors are undeniably important, an often underestimated element is the power of our diet. The foods and drinks we consume can either aggravate or alleviate the situation. This is where our focus shifts to hope and actionable strategies. Understanding that diet can be a powerful modulator allows us to reclaim a degree of control. Specific nutrients found in certain vegetables can help to counteract some of these challenges by reducing inflammation, supporting kidney efficiency, promoting better fluid balance, and even calming an overactive bladder. If you've experienced any of these age-related changes or contributing factors, you're certainly not alone. Many in our community share similar journeys. We encourage you to share your experiences, if you feel comfortable, and without sharing personal medical details, in the comments. Knowing you're not alone can be incredibly supportive. And if this information is already shedding some light on your situation, please consider liking this article and subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming content designed to empower your health journey. Now, let's turn our attention to the vegetable kingdom and discover the first of our quiet allies. 1. The gentle giant of bladder health, pumpkin and its powerful seeds. Our first featured vegetable might conjure images of autumnal harvests or festive pies, but for older adults grappling with the frustrations of nocturia, pumpkin, in both its vibrant flesh and its nutrient-dense seeds, should be viewed through a different lens. As a gentle, natural, and remarkably effective supporter of bladder strength and reduced nighttime urgency, its power lies not in aggressive action, but in quiet, consistent support. Let's begin with the often overlooked treasures within. Pumpkin seeds. These small but mighty kernels are a powerhouse of zinc, a mineral critically important for prostate health, particularly in men over the age of 60, where conditions like BPH are more common. An enlarged prostate can press on the urethra, leading to incomplete bladder emptying and increased urinary frequency. Adequate zinc intake can contribute to maintaining a healthier prostate, but the benefits of pumpkin seeds aren't exclusive to men. They are also rich in phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that have been shown to possess anti-inflammatory properties. These compounds can help to reduce inflammation within the bladder wall itself and calm overactivity in the urinary system. Several studies have indicated that regular consumption of pumpkin seed extract can lead to a notable reduction in the number of nightly bathroom visits for both men and women suffering from overactive bladder symptoms. The wonderful news? You don't necessarily need to rely on extracts or pills. Simply incorporating a handful of plain, unsalted pumpkin seeds into your daily diet, perhaps sprinkled over oatmeal, yogurt, or salads, or enjoyed as a standalone snack during the day, can, over time, offer similar supportive benefits. Now let's consider the flesh of the pumpkin. Whether roasted, steamed, or pureed, cooked pumpkin is an excellent source of beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A, and crucially, dietary fiber. Why is fiber so important in this context? Because it plays a vital role in regulating your body's hydration and digestive processes, both of which are intricately linked to kidney and bladder function. When the bowels are sluggish or constipated, a common issue for some older adults, the impacted stool can exert pressure on the bladder, leading to increased sensitivity and more frequent urges, especially at night. By promoting regular, healthy bowel movements, fiber-rich foods like pumpkin help to alleviate this pressure, allowing the bladder to function more comfortably. Things begin to balance out from the inside. Consider the experience of Leonard, a 78-year-old gentleman who had been increasingly troubled by multiple awakenings each night. He began a simple routine, adding about half a cup of cooked pumpkin to his evening meal 3 times a week. Sometimes it was blended into a nourishing soup, other times mashed with a touch of olive oil and cinnamon. Within a month, Leonard reported a significant improvement. He was waking only once per night, a dramatic decrease from his previous 3 or more trips. It wasn't a miracle, he shared, but it was steady, consistent progress, and that made me trust it. His story is not an isolated one. Pumpkin works its magic subtly but surely, and unlike many over-the-counter remedies that can have side effects like dryness, grogginess, or dependency, pumpkin offers its support naturally. It's also pertinent to highlight that pumpkin is naturally low in sodium. This is a critical factor for older adults, as high sodium intake often leads to water retention during the day. When you then lie down at night, this retained fluid is released and processed by the kidneys, filling the bladder and disrupting sleep. By consciously reducing sodium and increasing potassium-rich foods like pumpkin, you're essentially sending a signal to your kidneys to regulate fluid more efficiently, holding it appropriately during waking hours, and reducing that sudden nighttime flush. Another understated benefit is pumpkin's natural magnesium content. Magnesium is a mineral in which many older adults are deficient, and it plays a crucial role in muscle relaxation. This includes the detrusor muscle, the smooth muscle of the bladder wall. When these muscles are overly tight or irritated, you experience increased urgency. When they are calm and relaxed, your bladder can hold more urine comfortably and signal less frequently. A simple, calming food like pumpkin can contribute to this muscular relaxation. And perhaps one of the best parts is its ease of preparation. You can purchase high-quality canned pumpkin. Ensure it's plain pumpkin puree, not sugary pie filling. Or opt for fresh pumpkin, which can be cubed and roasted with a little olive oil and your favorite spices. It pairs wonderfully with both savory and slightly sweet dishes, making it a versatile addition to meals. Consumed regularly, and ideally earlier in the day or with an early dinner, it helps to set the stage for a quieter, more restful night for your bladder. So, the next time you're planning your meals, don't let this humble orange gourd be an afterthought. Pumpkin may not be the flashiest vegetable in the produce aisle, but its reliability and gentle effectiveness make it an invaluable ally for older adults seeking to sleep soundly through the night. If you found this deep dive into the benefits of pumpkin and its seeds enlightening, and perhaps you're already thinking of ways to add them to your diet, please let us know by commenting with the number 1 below. It's wonderful to know which insights resonate most with you. But 2. The cooling comforter. Cucumber's gentle touch on bladder irritation. Many might dismiss cucumber as little more than a crunchy, refreshing, but nutritionally unremarkable salad ingredient or a garnish for a summer drink. However, for seniors contending with the persistent problem of frequent nighttime urination, this pale green vegetable embodies a set of gentle yet targeted benefits that position it as a quiet hero in calming an irritated bladder and promoting a more peaceful night's sleep. Cucumbers offer a uniquely cooling and anti-inflammatory effect that can help your entire urinary system settle down, rather than stirring it up, especially as bedtime approaches. Let's first address its most obvious characteristic: water content. Yes, cucumbers are exceptionally hydrating, typically composed of about 95% water. Now, this might seem counterintuitive if you're actively trying to reduce nighttime urination. However, the critical factor here is when you consume them. When cucumbers are enjoyed during the earlier part of the day, perhaps sliced into your lunchtime sandwich, diced into a cool midday salad, or blended into a morning smoothie, they contribute to flushing out your system in a manner that is both gentle and rhythmic. This means your body has ample opportunity to process and eliminate most of the excess fluid long before you retire for the evening, rather than burdening your bladder with a sudden influx of liquid in the middle of the night. But the story of cucumbers' benefits extends far beyond mere hydration. Cucumbers are naturally endowed with compounds that actively help to calm bladder irritation. One such group of compounds is known as cucurbitacins. These are natural anti-inflammatory agents that have been observed to reduce swelling and irritation in the bladder lining. This is particularly beneficial if you've been experiencing that subtle, nagging, burning sensation or a persistent tingling feeling that makes you feel an urgent need to urinate, even when your bladder isn't genuinely full. By mitigating this internal irritation, cucumbers can help to reduce the frequency of these false alarms that your bladder might be sending to your brain overnight. Furthermore, cucumbers are a good source of silica and potassium, 2 nutrients that play supportive roles in kidney function and help to regulate the delicate balance of sodium within your body. Why is this sodium-potassium balance so crucial? An excess of sodium consumed during the day often leads to increased fluid retention. When you lie down horizontally for sleep, this retained fluid mobilizes back into the bloodstream and is filtered by the kidneys, resulting in increased urine production precisely when you least want it. However, when you support your kidneys with hydrating, potassium-rich foods like cucumber, you encourage a shift in this fluid processing, moving it back into your active daytime hours. This effectively gives your bladder a much-needed break during the night. I recall a conversation with Doris, an energetic 83-year-old who had been struggling with nighttime bathroom trips for several years. She was hesitant about medications and adamant about not giving up her beloved evening cup of tea. She decided to make one simple dietary adjustment. She started eating half a cucumber with her lunch every single day. Within just 2 weeks, Doris joyfully reported that she was now only getting up once during the night, a significant improvement from her previous 4 or 5 disruptive trips. She shared something profound that stuck with me. "I didn't feel like my bladder was yelling at me anymore," she said. "It just relaxed." This beautifully encapsulates the kind of gentle, cumulative effect we're discussing. Not an abrupt medicinal fix, but a slow, steady shift towards internal calm and control. When your bladder lining is less inflamed, when your kidneys are functioning more efficiently, and when your body's electrolyte balance is stable, everything within your urinary system begins to operate more smoothly. Cucumbers, despite their unassuming simplicity, offer an easy and palatable way to move in that healthier direction. A common mistake, however, is consuming cucumbers too late in the day. If you include them in your dinner or as an evening snack, their hydrating effects are likely to kick in just as you're trying to settle down for sleep, potentially counteracting the desired benefit. Instead, aim to enjoy cucumbers at breakfast or lunch. Add crisp slices to your sandwiches, dice them into cottage cheese for a protein-rich snack, or toss them into a refreshing cold salad with a light vinaigrette and perhaps some dill. Their inherent cooling nature isn't merely a flavor characteristic. It's a functional benefit that extends to your internal systems. One more important point to remember: cucumbers are naturally soothing to the digestive tract as well. As many older adults are keenly aware, a sluggish or backed-up digestive system can exert considerable pressure on the bladder, thereby increasing the sensation of urgency. By helping to keep things moving regularly and settled within the gut, cucumbers indirectly reduce this extra pressure on the bladder. It's a testament to the interconnectedness of our bodily systems. Cucumber supports more than one system at a time, contributing to overall balance. So, the next time you open your refrigerator, don't overlook that pale green, unassuming vegetable. It might not be marketed as a potent medicine, but sometimes the most effective remedies don't require a prescription label. They simply need to be eaten regularly, thoughtfully, and at the right time of day. If you're finding these insights into the subtle power of cucumbers valuable, and perhaps you're already picturing them in your next salad, please comment with the number 2 below to let us know you're finding this helpful. And if you haven't already, this is a great time to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. Your support truly helps us continue creating informative content like this to inspire healthier choices. Let's move forward to another unsung hero. 3. The daytime flusher, celery's strategic support for nighttime peace. Celery often finds itself relegated to the background, a crunchy component of a mirepoix, a dutiful soldier on a crudité platter, or a fibrous stick in a Bloody Mary. It's one of those vegetables that is frequently present but rarely celebrated. Yet for older adults wrestling with the disruptive cycle of frequent nighttime urination, celery can play a surprisingly significant and beneficial role, especially when it's incorporated into the diet with awareness and purpose. What makes celery so uniquely effective is its ability to gently encourage your body to eliminate excess fluid during the day. Now, this might initially sound counterproductive. Why would you want a vegetable that makes you urinate more when you're trying to urinate less at night? The key, much like with cucumber, lies in the timing and the mechanism. Celery helps your body process and release that fluid earlier during your waking and active hours, thereby reducing the volume that needs to be dealt with when you're trying to achieve deep, uninterrupted sleep. Celery acts as a natural diuretic, meaning it aids your kidneys in filtering sodium and flushing excess water from your system. However, unlike some potent pharmaceutical diuretics that can risk dehydration or deplete your body of essential minerals if not carefully managed, celery works much more gradually and gently. It helps to preserve the body's electrolyte balance while still effectively lightening the load on your bladder. When you consume celery before the late afternoon, perhaps as part of your breakfast, juiced in the morning, or munched on as a midday snack, it provides your body with ample time to complete this fluid shifting process well before bedtime. There's also something quite special about the combination of sodium and potassium found naturally in celery. It's one of the relatively few vegetables that contains a noticeable amount of natural sodium, but it's present in a ratio with potassium that actually helps your body manage water retention more efficiently. When sodium and potassium levels are in harmonious balance, your body doesn't feel the physiological need to cling on to excess water throughout the day. This, in turn, means there's simply less accumulated fluid to be released once you lie down and your circulatory dynamics change. Celery also contributes to reducing internal bloating and uncomfortable abdominal pressure. For many older adults, even a seemingly minor buildup of intestinal gas or retained fluid in the abdomen can exert significant pressure against the bladder. This physical pressure can trigger sensations of urgency and make nighttime bladder control more challenging. However, when digestion is smoother and inflammation within the gut is minimized, there's inherently less pressure on the entire urinary system. This is another important reason why celery can be so helpful. It supports both healthy digestion and efficient fluid movement in tandem. Let me share the experience of Thomas, a 74-year-old who had become increasingly frustrated with his sleep being broken 3, sometimes 4 times a night. He decided to try incorporating fresh celery juice into his routine 3 mornings a week. He wasn't keen on store-bought juices, which are often high in sugar. So he simply blended 2 stalks of fresh celery with a small amount of water and a squeeze of lemon. Within 2 weeks, Thomas noticed a remarkable change. His evening bathroom visits had dropped from 3 or more down to just 1. He hadn't made any other significant changes to his diet or lifestyle. I didn't expect much, to be honest, he admitted, but my bladder just calmed down. It felt less agitated. And it's not just about juicing. You can easily chop celery into tuna or chicken salad, add it to your morning omelets for a bit of crunch and flavor, or even roast it alongside other root vegetables for a savory side dish. The crucial element, once again, is to consume it earlier in the day so that its natural flushing effect has sufficient time to work through your system long before you head to bed. Celery is also rich in flavonoids, which are beneficial plant compounds known for their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. These flavonoids can help to reduce inflammation within the urinary tract. For seniors dealing with an overactive bladder, or for those who frequently feel the urge to urinate even when their bladder isn't truly full, reducing inflammation in this delicate area can make a world of difference. And for individuals concerned about digestive regularity, celery's fiber content can help to gently move things along. It's not overly rough, nor is it too soft. It provides just enough insoluble fiber to help maintain gut motility, which, as we've established, indirectly supports bladder health. When your digestive tract is sluggish, your bladder often bears the brunt of the consequences. Another bonus is that celery is hydrating, but not in a way that overwhelms the bladder with a sudden deluge of liquid. It provides your body with the water it needs for various physiological processes without flooding your system with fluid that needs to be urgently expelled at 2 a.m. And because it's exceptionally low in sugar and calories, you can incorporate celery into your diet frequently without any significant downside. So, if you're searching for a quiet, dependable, and natural way to help reduce nighttime urination, don't overlook celery. It may not make bold headlines in the world of health foods, but its calming, flushing, and balancing properties can contribute significantly to more restful nights, especially when combined with the other beneficial vegetables we're exploring. It's a powerful reminder that wellness is often built not through one dramatic action, but through a series of small, smart, sustainable habits, one vegetable at a time. Does the idea of using celery strategically to manage fluid balance resonate with you? If you've learned something new about celery's potential, please type 3 in the comments. We love hearing what sparks your interest. 4. The gentle regulator. Green beans for bladder calm and kidney support. Green beans, with their slender form and unassuming presence on the dinner plate, might appear plain and simple, perhaps even a bit ordinary. However, for seniors navigating the challenges of frequent nighttime urination, they are anything but. These humble legumes carry a potent and well-orchestrated mix of nutrients that work diligently behind the scenes to help reduce bladder overactivity. support optimal kidney balance, and ultimately improve sleep quality, all without causing unwanted side effects or placing undue strain on the system. First and foremost, green beans are a notable natural source of magnesium. Magnesium isn't just a mineral for preventing muscle cramps or maintaining bone health. It plays a pivotal, albeit often underappreciated role in relaxing the smooth muscles of the bladder, known as the detrusor muscle. When these muscles are chronically tense, irritated, or inflamed, even a small accumulation of urine can trigger that strong, often urgent need to go. This hypersensitivity is a common feature of an overactive bladder. However, when these muscles are in a more relaxed state, your bladder can comfortably hold a greater volume of urine with less discomfort and fewer urgent signals. This is what makes green beans such a quiet hero in the fight against nocturia. They help to relax things at the source, gently and consistently. Green beans also contain a decent amount of water, contributing to your overall hydration, but not in a way that floods your system. This is an important distinction. Many older adults, in an attempt to manage nighttime urination, either drastically restrict fluids, which can lead to other problems like dehydration and constipation, or inadvertently consume high water load foods or drinks too close to bedtime. That concentrated liquid inevitably has to be processed and expelled, usually disrupting sleep. When you derive hydration from water-rich vegetables like green beans, especially when consumed as part of an earlier evening meal, your body tends to absorb the water and accompanying nutrients more gradually and efficiently. Another key advantage offered by green beans is their fiber profile. The benefit of fiber here extends beyond merely promoting bowel regularity. It's also about reducing abdominal pressure. When your intestines are bloated, gassy, or backed up with waste, this internal distension can physically push down on your bladder. When there's consistent pressure on the bladder, there's almost always an accompanying increase in urinary urgency. Green beans, with their soluble and insoluble fiber, help to regulate digestion, promote smoother transit through the gut, and reduce this internal tension. This, in turn, allows the bladder to function more calmly and with less provocation throughout the night. I remember speaking with Margaret, an 81-year-old woman who told me she started a simple habit: eating a serving of green beans every evening with her dinner. Nothing elaborate, just lightly steamed with a pinch of sea salt and a drizzle of olive oil. She said she noticed a discernible shift in her sleep patterns within about a week. I was shocked, truly, she confided. I didn't expect something so ordinary to help so much, but my nights are so much more peaceful now. Her experience underscores a vital point. Ordinary can indeed be powerful, especially when it's embraced with consistency. A particularly important characteristic of green beans is that they are low in oxalates. This detail matters more than many people realize, especially for individuals with sensitive urinary tracts. High oxalate foods, which include some otherwise very healthy vegetables like spinach, beets, and rhubarb, can unfortunately irritate the urinary tract in susceptible individuals, potentially making the bladder more sensitive and prone to spasms. This is why, even though such vegetables are often praised for their nutrient density, they can sometimes backfire when it comes to managing urination frequency. Green beans gracefully avoid this problem entirely. They tend to soothe rather than irritate. Let's not forget their valuable potassium content. Similar to celery and pumpkin, green beans offer a natural and favorable balance between sodium and potassium. This balance is crucial for assisting your kidneys in regulating bodily fluids effectively without forcing your bladder to carry an undue burden of excess fluid, especially at night. This equilibrium helps to prevent significant fluid retention during the day and, consequently, excessive release and urine production once you're recumbent. One other practical aspect to note is that green beans are incredibly easy to digest for most people. For seniors who may have sensitive stomachs, chronic bloating, or other digestive concerns, this is a significant advantage. The easier a food is on your digestive system, the less systemic inflammation it's likely to trigger, and the more energy your body can then devote to essential processes like healing, balancing hormones, and crucially, staying asleep longer. You can prepare green beans in a myriad of appealing ways: steamed, roasted with herbs, sautéed with a little garlic, or tossed into hearty soups and stews. And because they are widely available year-round and generally affordable, they represent one of the most accessible vegetable choices for people on a fixed income or with limited access to specialty stores. The real beauty of green beans lies in how quietly and consistently they work. You're unlikely to feel a sudden jolt of change or witness an instant transformation overnight. However, over the course of a couple of weeks of regular inclusion in your diet, many seniors report experiencing fewer disruptive trips to the bathroom during the night, and as a wonderful consequence, deeper, more refreshing, and more restorative sleep. And ultimately, isn't that what we're all truly seeking? Not just fewer interruptions, but genuine, healing rest that rejuvenates both body and mind. If you're still with us and finding these detailed insights into how green beans can support your well-being valuable, please let us know by commenting with the number 4 below. It's encouraging to see you're engaged and learning. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we warmly invite you to do so and to turn on the notification bell. Your support is invaluable and helps us continue creating good content designed to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward to our final featured vegetable. 5. The nutrient-dense night watchman, kale for kidney and bladder harmony. Kale might have gained widespread fame as a trendy superfood in recent years, often touted for its dense nutritional profile. However, for older adults who find their sleep consistently fractured by the need for nighttime urination, kale's value extends far beyond fleeting food trends. It's about real, reliable, and multifaceted support for your kidneys, bladder, and overall fluid balance within the body. What makes kale stand out in this context isn't just its impressive array of vitamins, but the intelligent way it helps your body manage water and essential minerals without placing undue pressure on your urinary system, especially late at night. Let's begin by examining its remarkable mineral profile. Kale is particularly rich in potassium and also provides a good amount of calcium. These two minerals quietly but effectively support the kidneys in their vital task of managing fluid balance and filtering waste products. They also play a role in helping the bladder muscle stay calm and cooperative. A body that is well hydrated and whose mineral stores are properly balanced doesn't tend to panic and send urgent signals to the brain every few hours throughout the night. Instead, it holds steady, processes waste materials more efficiently, and allows you to remain in a state of restful sleep without being constantly disturbed by your bladder. Kale is also famously loaded with vitamin C, a potent antioxidant. However, there's an important nuance here that people often miss. When vitamin C is obtained from whole food sources like kale, especially when it's lightly cooked, it generally doesn't act as a bladder irritant in the same way that high-dose synthetic vitamin C supplements can for some individuals. Many seniors take concentrated vitamin C tablets hoping to boost their immune system, but in reality, this sudden overload can sometimes make the bladder lining more sensitive and increase urinary urgency. Kale offers a gentler, safer, and more holistically beneficial route to obtaining this vital nutrient. And speaking of benefits, kale is profoundly anti-inflammatory. This is a crucial point because chronic low-level inflammation is one of the most common, yet frequently overlooked underlying causes of bladder overactivity and urinary urgency. If the delicate lining of your bladder or urinary tract is even slightly inflamed, the nerves surrounding it can become hypersensitive. Suddenly, even a small amount of urine accumulating in the bladder can feel like an urgent, gotta-go-now situation. Kale is packed with powerful antioxidants, including flavonoids like quercetin and camphorol, which have been scientifically studied for their ability to help calm this inflammatory fire over time, leading to a less reactive bladder. It's also worth noting that kale supports liver function. You might be wondering, what does my liver possibly have to do with my nighttime urination? The answer is more than you'd probably guess. The liver plays a critical role in filtering hormones, toxins, and metabolic byproducts from the bloodstream. When these substances are unbalanced or not efficiently cleared, they can indirectly impact your body's fluid regulation mechanisms and even your sleep-wake cycles. A healthy, well-functioning liver helps everything else in your body operate more smoothly and harmoniously, which is especially important for maintaining balance in older adults. I met a gentleman named George, 74, who was initially quite skeptical about kale. I always thought that stuff was just for health fanatics or vegans, he chuckled. However, after his daughter encouraged him to try adding about a cup of sautéed kale to his dinner 3 times a week, he noticed a significant change within a few weeks. He reported that he wasn't waking up as often during the night. He still made a precautionary trip to the bathroom before bed, but once his head hit the pillow, he often slept straight through until morning. It was like my bladder finally got the message to just chill out, he said. The change was subtle at first, but it made a real difference to how I felt each day. This is precisely the kind of subtle yet powerful internally driven shift that we're aiming for. Now, if you're new to incorporating kale into your diet, it's wise not to overdo it right at the start. Begin with a smaller amount, perhaps half a cup, and always ensure it's cooked lightly. Raw kale, with its tough fibers, can be a bit challenging on the stomach for some individuals, potentially causing gas or bloating. However, when it's gently steamed, sautéed with a little garlic and olive oil, or blended into a warm, nourishing soup, it becomes one of the most digestible and supportive green leafy vegetables you can consume. The real magic in kale is its multifaceted approach. It works to calm inflammation, helps to balance essential minerals, supports the body's natural detoxification pathways via the liver, and assists the body in handling fluids without creating nighttime drama. It's not a flashy instant fix, and its benefits are cumulative, but with consistency, it truly works. In a world that's often saturated with promises of quick-fix sleep aids, complex prescriptions, and health advice that doesn't always feel applicable or accessible to older bodies, sometimes the most profound and sustainable solutions are indeed found right on your plate. Kale may not immediately spring to mind when you think of bladder foods, but the positive results experienced by many who incorporate it thoughtfully speak volumes. We're aiming for a gentler, deeper approach, something that supports your body's natural processes instead of forcing them. Sleep doesn't have to be a nightly battle. With the right nutritional allies, like kale, it can once again become a restorative gift. Have these insights on kale opened your eyes to its potential beyond just being a superfood? If you're inspired to give kale a try, or if you already love it, share your thoughts by commenting with the number 5 below. We're keen to know how this information is helping you. Beyond individual vegetables, cultivating a holistic dietary approach for nighttime serenity. While we've explored the remarkable individual benefits of pumpkin, cucumber, celery, green beans, and kale, it's crucial to understand that their true power is often magnified when they become part of a broader, holistic dietary pattern aimed at supporting bladder health and overall well-being. These vegetables are not magic bullets to be consumed in isolation, but rather valuable players in a team effort. The synergy created by a thoughtfully composed diet can lead to more significant and sustainable improvements in reducing nighttime urination than relying on any single food alone. One of the most important aspects of this holistic approach is the timing of your meals and fluid intake throughout the day. As we've touched upon with several of these vegetables, consuming hydrating foods and larger volumes of fluids earlier in the day allows your body ample time to process them before you head to bed. Consider making breakfast and lunch your main hydration periods, gradually tapering off fluid intake in the late afternoon and evening. This doesn't mean depriving yourself of all liquids after a certain hour, but rather being mindful. A small cup of herbal tea, non-caffeinated of course, or a few sips of water in the evening is generally fine, but avoid large glasses of water, juice, or other beverages in the 2 to 3 hours leading up to sleep. The importance of overall hydration cannot be overstated, even when trying to manage nocturia. It might seem paradoxical, but chronic underhydration can lead to more concentrated urine, which can irritate the bladder lining and actually increase urgency. The goal is not to severely restrict fluids, but to distribute your intake wisely throughout your waking hours, ensuring your urine remains a pale straw color, which usually indicates good hydration. It's also beneficial to be mindful of common bladder irritants that can exacerbate symptoms of an overactive bladder and increase urinary frequency. These can vary from person to person, but frequently implicated culprits include caffeine, found in coffee, black tea, green tea, some sodas, and chocolate, alcohol, spicy foods, acidic foods, like tomatoes and citrus fruits for some individuals, and artificial sweeteners. Reducing or eliminating these, especially in the afternoon and evening, can make a noticeable difference for many. This isn't about deprivation, but about making informed choices that support your nighttime comfort. Furthermore, the power of consistency is paramount. Incorporating these beneficial vegetables into your diet isn't a one-time fix. It's about establishing new, healthier habits. Aim for variety and regularity. Perhaps one day you have pumpkin soup, the next day a cucumber salad, and a few times a week you include sautéed green beans or kale with your dinner. The cumulative effect of these nutrient-rich foods working together over weeks and months is what tends to yield the most profound results. This approach also helps ensure you're getting a wide spectrum of vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that support not just bladder health, but your overall vitality. Think of your body as a finely tuned instrument. Each dietary choice is like a note. When you consistently choose notes that are harmonious and supportive, the overall melody of your health becomes more beautiful and serene. Do you have any personal strategies for timing your fluid intake or managing bladder irritants that have worked well for you? We'd love for you to share your tips and experiences in the comments section. Your wisdom could greatly benefit other members of our community. And if these broader dietary considerations are resonating with you, please show your support by hitting the like button. It helps us understand what content you find most useful. Frequent nighttime urination, or nocturia, is far more than just a minor annoyance. It's a pervasive drain on your energy, a fog that can cloud your memory, a damper on your mood, and even a vulnerability for your immune system. Every hour of deep, uninterrupted sleep is precious, especially as we age, because it's during these quiet hours that our bodies undertake the vital work of repair, restoration, and resetting for the day ahead. So, when your bladder repeatedly acts as an unwelcome alarm clock, sounding off again and again throughout the night, it's not a trivial problem. Its impact ripples through every facet of your waking life, diminishing your vitality and your ability to fully enjoy your days. However, what this exploration of pumpkin, cucumber, celery, green beans, and kale has hopefully illuminated is a message of profound hope and empowerment. Sometimes, the most effective and sustainable support for our bodies doesn't come from a pill bottle or a complex medical procedure. It often resides in the simple, wholesome foods we choose to put on our plates, in the gentle rhythms we establish for our bodies, and in the quiet, mindful adjustments we make that speak our body's own language, rather than trying to shout over its signals. These 5 vegetables, pumpkin with its soothing seeds, cucumber with its cooling touch, celery with its strategic flushing action, green beans with their muscle-relaxing magnesium, and kale with its anti-inflammatory power are not presented as miraculous overnight cures. Instead, they are quiet, steadfast allies. Each one works through slightly different, yet complementary physiological pathways. Each one supports a different layer of the intricate system that governs our urinary health. And when consumed thoughtfully and consistently, they can collectively create a robust foundation upon which your body can build greater balance and resilience. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet in a single day. The journey to better bladder control and more restful nights often begins with small, manageable steps. Try starting with just one new habit. Perhaps it's adding a handful of pumpkin seeds to your afternoon snack. Maybe it's committing to a side of sautéed kale or steamed green beans with your dinner a few times a week. Or perhaps it's enjoying a cucumber and celery salad for lunch. Little by little, as these changes become integrated into your routine, you're likely to notice a difference. Not necessarily in a loud, dramatic fashion, but in the subtle yet significant way your nights begin to feel longer. Your mornings feel lighter and more energized. And the path to your bathroom light remains untrodden more often than not. There is a quiet dignity in achieving uninterrupted sleep. There is a renewed strength that comes from waking up feeling genuinely rested and restored. And as someone who has navigated many seasons of life, allow me to share this enduring truth. Your body, at every age, possesses an innate desire to heal and to find balance. It often simply needs us to provide it with the right building blocks, the right pieces of the puzzle. So, if you are someone who has been battling the frustration of broken sleep, or if you've been wondering if things will ever improve, please remember that they can. And very often, these improvements begin the moment you decide to treat your body not as a project to be fixed, but as a valued partner to be nourished and supported. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the natural support vegetables can offer for nighttime urinary concerns. We sincerely hope this information has been both enlightening and empowering for you. We would be truly grateful to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one key insight you learned today. And, if you feel inspired, how you might plan to incorporate it into your life. Your thoughts, experiences, and reflections are incredibly important to us. And reading your comments provides us with great motivation and encouragement to continue this work. If you enjoyed this article and found it helpful in any way, Please show your appreciation by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and importantly, sharing it with friends or family members who might also benefit from this knowledge. Your support is instrumental in helping us continue creating high-quality, informative, and inspiring content. Thank you for investing your time with us today. We look forward to seeing you in our next video, where we'll continue to explore ways to live healthier, more vibrant lives.